The 1949 Bowman Eddie Waitkus card, number 142, has a lot to digest. Upon first inspection, it appears that Waitkus played for the Cubs. The back tells a different story. Eddie Waitkus, first base, Philadelphia Phillies. Waitkus came to Philadelphia after the 1948 season in a trade that sent Monk Dubiel and Dutch Leonard, see episode 7, to the Cubs in exchange for Waitkus and Hank Borowy. This swap with the Cubs came just a few weeks after the Phils sent Harry the Hat Walker to the Cubs in exchange for Bill Swish Nicholson, so all their uniforms were messed up on the cards that year. Anyway, back to the story. Eddie Waitkus was a natural. In fact, he was the natural. And all the scouts and coaches when he was a kid told him he had a real natural swing. He came up through the Cubs organization, taking a few years off to fight for freedom in a little conflict called World War II. He was traded to the Phillies in 1949, and the Cubs fans lost it. Well, one Cubs fan lost it. Ruth Ann Steenhagen. She developed a crush and later obsession with Waitkus after seeing him play at Wrigley Field. Seeing him in a Phillies uniform, like in his 1950 Bowman card number 30, was just too much. She had what we would call now a mental health crisis. Mid-season 1949, on June 14th, the Phillies came to Chicago for their first full series with the Cubs at Wrigley that year. Waitkus was returning for only the second time since the trade. After the game, which the Phillies won 9-2, with Waitkus going 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored, Miss Steenhagen, who had reserved a room at the same hotel where the Phillies team was staying, lured Eddie Waitkus to her room with a fake name and shot him. The bullet pierced his lung and just barely missed his heart. He very nearly died. Miss Steenhagen immediately called for help, at least partially aware and guilty for what she had done. Medical help came just in time to save his life. Eddie Waitkus was awarded 4 Bronze Stars for bravery in World War II and survived many firefights with 50 caliber machine guns and heavy artillery, only to come home and take a bullet from a single-shot bolt-action .22 caliber rifle fired by a teenage girl in white gloves. Go figure. Thankfully, Waitkus pulled through. He didn't play for the remainder of the 49 season, but he was back for 1950 and was a big part of the Whiz Kids' Phillies run to the pennant. A reliable glove at first base and a good bat at the plate. If this story seems vaguely familiar, that's because it was the basis for a 1952 novel called The Natural, which in 1984 became a movie starring Robert Redford, one of the most beloved films of all time and a classic baseball flick. Eddie Waitkus is the natural. The back of his 1950 Bowman card is a bit of a hoot. Quote, Eddie had appeared in 54 games last season and was hitting at a .306 clip when he was shot by a demented girl fan. Demented girl fan. That's one way to put it. Bowman was underselling it. Also, 3 years in service is not the best way to say war hero with 4 Bronze Stars. Eddie Waitkus played for the Phillies for a few more seasons, but never really came all the way back after the incident. His 51 Bowman card has perhaps the most perfunctory summary of his cards. Hit .284, led league in singles, had 32 doubles, chalked up 8 straight hits during 1 doubleheader, began in majors with Cubs, with them 3 seasons, came to Phillies after the 48 season, served in the Armed Forces 3 years. When Topps Bubblegum entered the baseball card market in 1952, Waitkus was open to the highest bidder, so he signed an exclusive contract with Bowman and an exclusive contract with Topps, and then appeared in both sets. His 52 Topps card, number 158, has a proper description. Shot by a crazed girl in June 1949, Ed was close to death. He fought back and helped the Phils win the pennant in 1950, hitting .284 and leading the National League at first in putouts. During World War II, he won 4 battle stars and was wounded as an amphibious engineer sergeant in the Pacific. That's how you write the back of a baseball card. He didn't get a Bowman or Topps card in '53, and by '54 he had been traded to the Orioles. 1955 was his final season. He died young at only 53 years old of esophageal cancer, common for players of the era who spent all day, every day, chewing tobacco. Looking at this 49 guard is a bit weird. He played for the Phillies in 49, but there he is in a Cubs uniform. It's even more weird to think that a Cubs fan seeing him in a Phillies uniform was enough to try and kill him. 74 years, a pennant, a book, and a movie later, the natural still lives on in baseball lore. But Roy Hobbs ain't got nothing on Eddie Waitkus. Thanks for watching. I hope there's not a deranged girl behind your hotel room door. And tune in next time for more baseball card stories, legends, and more.